You're trying to get that like bartender.
Yeah, you got to have that feel.
Yeah. Hi, it's Ann Steele with Jim Hughes Real Estate, and we are featuring an amazing bar here in Malvern, Iowa, Mezzo Bar, Bourbon and Cocktail Bar. Not just a bar, you guys, a bourbon and cocktail bar. So tell us, Quincy, this is Quincy Hunt, I didn't say that. Tell us how you got here, why you did this. Okay, this is gonna be like I'm gonna give you all the questions.
Oh yeah.
And why you chose this location.
Probably the easiest is the location with the concert series outside, you know, having great music all summer long. It made life very easy to do that.
To start.
That was a no-brainer.
Okay.
And then also we have the Wabash Trace coming right through. We're like a block and a half from the Trace.
If that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, Malvern is such a great little town. You know, we're working on our third studio. We have 2 great restaurants that I'd put up against about anybody, even larger towns.
Yep.
And I just wanted to offer a different opportunity, a different look.
Feel.
Good drinks at not urban city prices.
Yes.
So, and I get a really good reaction from, especially the bourbon, probably old fashions, and whiskey sours are number 1 and 2, and then a lot of vodka, fruity vodka, lemonades. Margaritas are huge.
He's picking on me. Okay.
So we have a lot of different cocktails as well, not just the bourbon side.
Well, and when you say that your location to the Trace, like I can literally see it. So I feel like his block and a half is like a long block and a half, or a short block and a half. But your location is fantastic here. And like you said, you're close to the restaurants. And so let's talk a little bit about your concert series. Explain that.
So this year is June 14th through the first weekend of August.
Okay.
And largely that was Zach Jones's brainchild with the Art Church, Art House, all of that. And I believe we're in the 11th or 12th year, if I remember right. And just great music, great bands. This year especially, gotten a few more like 80s, 90s, 2000s cover bands and original stuff. Just really fun bands so far. And then, for instance, this week, the 4th of July celebration, it's going to be down at the fairgrounds. But otherwise, right outside my door, I've got a back patio, literally 5 feet from the stage, which is always about the only guaranteed shade you'll have. So there's a little bonus being right there on the side.
Okay, so with that, it's like, hey, bring your lawn chairs. Like that's the feel, right? So
yeah, that's the overall feel. There's a few vendors, whether some produce or some hand-thrown pots and mugs and things like that. And then you can just kind of wander around and hang out on the patio, have a drink. With the windows cracked even a little bit, it sounds like they're right there. So if you need a breather, get out in the AC for a little bit, that's a great option here too. Okay.
So now explain your name of your bar, because we just talked about this and we maybe talked about location but didn't focus totally on this. So I love this.
So Mezzo, I was working on trying to get an idea of center of the community. We're right in the middle of the Trace, and Mezzo, like mezzo forte, mezzo soprano, and music is like mid
range
in the midst of. So that's what I was trying to kind of get a feel for with middle of the Trace, middle of the community. You know, when you're in mezzo, you're amongst friends. That's the theme I was trying to work with.
That's a good one. I love that. That's fantastic. Okay, so how about just within the bar? What besides the concert series and your location, like what can you expect when you come in here?
I am very I control the music. I love I love being able to control the atmosphere.
Okay.
So, you know, when you go to certain bars, you don't know if it's going to be Willie Nelson or Britney Spears or death metal on the next song. I have playlists, whether it's 80s, 90s, blues, you know, some kind of, I like to keep it laid back.
That's what keeps you up at night. Like the song, like, oh, I got to add that song.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that happens quite oftentimes, that someone has a suggestion to throw onto the playlist.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I love having a good sound. I've got free pool, got a foosball table. So it's casual, but it's never going to be pretentious in here.
Great.
There's not too many places you can go get a good drink and not feel like you're supposed to be,
Hoity-toity.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I think that's our entire county.
Yeah,
I think that's what like you get. Like when you get into the small town atmosphere, it's like you shouldn't expect anyone to judge. It's just you're here, enjoy it, meet a friend.
Yes.
Because someone's gonna say hello for sure. And wonder who you are.
Yeah.
And where you came from and why you're here.
And that is often the question when you sit down at the bar with some of my regulars. I'm not as good at it, but I'm trying to get better.
Yeah, you're trying to get that like bartender.
Yeah, you gotta have that feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's got board games and stuff in here too. So you've got concert series, and that's which night?
Saturday nights.
Okay. So if you haven't been in here, come check this place out. Amazing drinks. I just may have sampled just a little bit to see if he was lying.
Quality control.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna get crazy. But anyway, I appreciate you doing this, Quincy. It was very short notice, and I'm so glad to be able to show this place off.
Well, thank you. Yes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so on your bikes, stop on down, grab an ice cream cone, grab a beer, and say hello and cool off in the shade. Yeah, thank you, Quincy.
Like that.
I appreciate it. Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thanks.